Good evening. Welcome to the Fred Dickerson Athletics Hall of Fame dinner. Tonight is a very special night. We're celebrating the induction of 3 Lees-McRae alum into the Hall of Fame here at Lees-McRae College. This is very special. They do this once a year, but tonight we're going to celebrate these 3 athletes, Stacher, Shela Moffitt, and Troy Brown, as they get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Stacher is a pro cyclist and now the current owner of Allie's Bars. Shela Moffitt had a great career as a Bobcat here on the field playing women's soccer. And Troy Brown also had a great career as a Bobcat playing football, and he went on to the NFL to win 3 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. The celebration is about to start, so let's go inside and watch the induction.
Good evening. I think we're finally ready to get started. A lot of this is due to my own efforts. I could be late to just about anything, and I do apologize because I know that we spend a lot of time on evenings like this preaching about those role models who are believers, and I should do a better job myself. But again, thank you all. Tonight's a very special night, and to be quite honest with you, for some of the inductees, this has been years in the making, and it all collided tonight. And despite what Mother Nature has given us, we are a tough lot. And I asked somebody today about it, and they said we're a tough lot, and I got to thinking about it the rest of the afternoon. And you're right. We're on top of the mountain. We are at the top. And tonight, we have the incredible honor to recognize 3 people who wore the green and gold with such passion and pride. And what they did when they left Banner Elk has made us even more proud. And I think that's why we gathered here tonight to celebrate this honor. And I want to share with you just a few remarks. Our athletic department, our team, read a book this summer by John Gordon called The Hard Hat. In The Hard Hat, there's 21 rules on being a great teammate. One of them that continues to stand out to me is leave the place better than you found it. I think about the 3 people who are being inducted here tonight. They left the place better than they found it. And then they went on and made the place even better. Troy, Shela, Allie, welcome back. Tonight is a night where we reflect on what you did while you were here and what you've done since you left. And you've made us all very proud. And I am so glad that there are the people in this room who are here tonight to take part in this very special celebration. You know, this class of inductees, they resemble everything that we ask as coaches of our current student athletes. Give me your best, try hard, show good character, and have fun. Your traits are what we're trying to develop in our current student athletes. Each of you come from humble backgrounds. You had to fight to prove yourself, overcome some adversity. We're real grateful you did. And tonight we're looking forward to hearing about what Banner Elk meant to you. The day-to-day work we do here at Lees-McRae is filled with mentoring, guiding, and developing our young people in preparation to have success in any arena of life. You are the examples that we talked about. While I was prepping for this night, Allie, you're the only one I saw compete for the Bobcats. Troy, I have watched you play on Sundays on TV. And Shela, I have talked with enough people over the course of the last several months to get a really good idea that you were a fierce competitor. And in reality, that's the type of diamonds. The passionate, determined, strong-willed human beings that you are allowed you to excel in athletics, the classroom, and life. Allie, your grit while suffering on the bike 4 to 6 hours a day is admirable. But your compassion to your teammates and friends is what I remember and love about you the most. Troy, you and I have had a 3-year or longer saga to make tonight work. And for the young people in the room, this is a byproduct of LinkedIn, the online social networking thing. So I trust you. When you're professional in this world, these things will happen. But Troy, I have always realized that you had something to prove from day one, and you answered every challenge with class. Shela, there's not much to say. You're a flat-out winner. You are a cancer survivor. And as we go through this evening, I want you all to enjoy the memories shared, but also reflect on what Lees-McRae meant to you. This is a very special class, joining a very special class. We are in this room with members of the Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony from several years ago, we had several people here. We're in this room with Board of Trustee members, our president, distinguished alumni, young men and women who wear the green and gold currently, and some of their coaches. And certainly a lot of people who really, truly wouldn't want to miss out tonight. I'm thankful, and I will continue to be gracious to serve in this role as the Vice President of Athletics at Lees-McRae because of tonight's like tonight are everything to me. For us, you are the beacons of light helping guide our young men and women to know great opportunities are out there for those who commit fully to using their talents for the greater good. Welcome back, congratulations, and enjoy tonight. At this moment, I would like to ask our head men's and women's cycling coach, Tim Hall, to come up here and give us the blessing.
Good evening. If we would, with our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for this opportunity to come together and fellowship and celebrate the lives of three very important and special people to us. Father, we thank you for Troy, thank you for Shela, thank you for Allie, their contributions while they were here at Lees-McRae, the examples they set, and all the wonderful things that they have done since leaving Lees-McRae. We thank you for them, we thank you for all that they stand for, and we're here to honor them tonight. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings you've bestowed upon us in this college here at Bennerell. We pray that you continue to watch over us, that you lead, guide, and direct us down the path that you're choosing. And Father, I ask that during this time of inclement weather and all the rain, that you watch over each and every one of us, that you keep us safe from harm, that you wrap your arms around us and make sure that we all get home safe. And lastly, Lord, we pray that you nourish this food, take this food to the nourishment of our bodies, and that we use it in your service. We ask these things humbly in your name. Amen.
Just a little housekeeping. Our inductees will go first, and then our honored table guests will go second, and then Dan will go on. So enjoy your meal. Thank you. So I want to go ahead and get our program started. I think that this is what we all came here for tonight, and be able to celebrate this moment. So at this point in time, I'd like to call our president, Dr. Barry Buxton, up to the stage for some remarks about the evening in college and so forth. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. What a joy to have you back. What an exciting thing it is to be with student athletes, coaches, alumni, and so many honorees. I would like to take just a few minutes to recognize some special people within the audience. You know, the growth that we've had, the progress that we've made has been in part due to the outstanding leadership we've had on our Board of Trustees. And we're blessed to have, I believe, I hope I don't miss anyone, I think we have 3 trustees with us this evening, and I'd like to ask them to stand, and you can hold your applause until they all stand if possible. First of all, a great leader from the Alumni Association, representing the alumni on the Board of Trustees, Captain Ken Sullivan. Captain, would you please stand? Also, I would like to recognize the Vice President of the Board of Trustees, an outstanding athlete in his own right and in his own time, Mr. McNair. And last but not least, certainly not least, the prettiest of these 3, Miss Diane May, she's done so much for the college. Please, a round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us this evening 2 very important leaders in the academic world at Lees-McRae College. These are some of the key people that you already know that make so much happen here. But we are delighted to have with us our new provost, Dr. Todd Lee. Dr. Lee, would you please stand and be recognized? And one other academic leader who's with us that really needs no introduction, but he's the Vice President of the Faculty Senate and one of our senior faculty who does an amazing job. I'm speaking of Professor Dr. Michael Joslin. Michael? Okay, I love being in the room with so many great athletes. You know, I keep thinking the process of osmosis will get to me. You know, some of your greatness will get over into my genes somehow. All of you student athletes, every one of you, are an inspiration to me. I see you working out at 5:30 in the morning. I see you taking blankets and pillows to the travel bus as other students are sound asleep in their rooms. I see you studying for exams between competitions. I see you hitting the weight room. I see you doing all this, sacrificing so much because of your passion. You know, your passion for the sport that you love. And believe you me, it does not go unnoticed by your fellow students. It does not go unnoticed by this dedicated faculty and staff. You're doing all this. You're making all these sacrifices. It's incredible. And you're doing it all while maintaining one of the highest grade point averages of any small college in the United States of America. Now, how about that? Yes, you have won. You have won so many awards related to your being a student athlete. I'm so proud of you because you represent the true meaning of the student athlete ideal. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the student athlete ideal. Speaking of ideals, of course, congratulations to our new inductees, Troy and Shela and Alan. I mean, you are real inspirations to us, every one of you. Each of you has made us so proud, and we are so grateful to you for that. We're proud of Lees-McRae because we are the home to intercollegiate sports champions. We are the home of champions. We are proud of your commitment to win the right way, upholding sportsmanship and fair play in everything that you do. Every time I go to a game, every time I have a chance to watch you in action and see your passion, but you're doing it the right way. We're so proud of your desire to serve others. Every student athlete at Lees-McRae finds some way to serve others, to help others. It's not just about you. It's about helping in the community, finding that activity you're passionate about, donating over 1,000 hours of service in this community. And believe you me, your message gets across. You are an idol you are someone that these young people look up to. We're also proud of you because you have resolved in your time at Lees-McRae to grow beyond sports. Now, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about growing intellectually. Of course you've grown intellectually. That's why you came here in part. You've grown physically, which we all believe in. You've grown emotionally, and you've grown spiritually. And when you grow in those four areas of life, and you leave us, you're going to be more successful. You're going to be happier, and you're going to represent your family and yourself in a way that you can be proud. By the way, did I say I'm proud of you because you love to win? I'm proud of you because you love to win. We love to win, don't we? As Bobcats, we love to compete, And we love to win, but we always believe in doing it with good sponsorship, sportsmanship. You know, we're proud to be a member institution of the NCAA Division II Conference Carolinas. Yes, Conference Carolinas means a lot to us. Division II NCAA means a lot to us. We think that's where the real action is. It's not an NCAA Division I. Hey, I came from one of those schools. I know what that is like. When I was there, I helped counsel athletes. They're not in the same world you are in. Division II NCAA is so special because we have our priorities straight. We have our priorities straight. It starts with the student, and it starts with the student athlete, and it starts with academics. And we're all passionate about that. So we're true to the student athlete ideal. Now, inductees, may I say, well done, dear and faithful servants of the green and gold. You've made us very proud. God bless you one and all. And thank you.
Vertically challenged. Good evening. My name is Rita Smith, and I am the Senior Woman Administrator for Athletics and the Director of Athletic Training. Unlike Craig, I had the pleasure of watching all three of these inductees participate. I was quite young when that happened for Troy, of course, and he's still a very young man too. So. But I also had the privilege of applying a few strips of tape to each one, I believe, at some point in time. So, but congratulations to each and every one of you. We're glad to have you here tonight and celebrate this special occasion. I would first like to introduce Shela, Moffitt, or Fabri. I believe her nickname was Sheba. It is my pleasure to be able to introduce you to her, tell you a little bit about her story. Each summer when we sit down and talk about who we're going to induct in the Hall of Fame this year, we look at the stats, we look at the wins and losses, but we also look at what they were active in on campus and what they have done since. As Craig alluded to in his opening comments, we want to look at the type of people we have. And we have three very good people here tonight. Shela is and always was an excellent citizen. I never heard of her getting in any trouble. Her team might tell me something different later, but she was a good student, a hard-nosed player, sometimes an athletic trainer's not so favorite athlete when it came time to get them back on the field or tell them they couldn't go on the field. During the preseason, Coach Kiko, our current women's soccer coach, asked some of us in the athletic administration to speak to their teams. And he asked that we come in that day and give them one word to focus on during their practices. So as I thought about this, and we had already at that time determined that Shela was going to be one of our inductees, I thought about Shela. And I decided that I could not give them one word, I had to give them three. Yeah, overachiever. Those three words were passion, commitment, and appreciation. Shela has a passion for soccer that I don't think anyone can come close to. She just loves the game. She shows how she loves the game. Just look at her Facebook page. Soccer, more soccer, and soccer. She loves Lees-McRae. She was alumni of the month, I believe it was in March, a well-deserved recognition. She's fully committed, was then and is now, to giving all of herself. She gave herself to the team, to her teammates as friends. She gave it all to her coach, Reed Estes. She had to have everything just right, whether it was a practice or a game. He did not give half at practice. He gave it all the time. She appreciated each and every time that she was allowed to step on that field. She did not take you for granted. She was very appreciative of her opportunities. I asked her teammate, fellow Hall of Famer, Allison Norris, to comment about Shela. Here were her remarks. They've known each other since high school, by the way. In high school, I played against Shela for several years and feared her slide tackling ability. So I took matters into my own hands and asked her to join the Hendersonville indoor program. She would drive 2 hours round trip from Murfreesboro every Wednesday night to practice indoor soccer. After she joined our team, we never lost another tournament. She was amazing to watch with her 2-foot-long braid flying around like a secret weapon. Her dedication was fierce, and her heart was so very kind. Reed found Shela when he was recruiting me. He immediately recognized her talent. We both committed to LMC and agreed to be roommates. We lived together our freshman year, and she always took care of me. Shela was the one who created our pregame mixtapes. And yes, back in that day it was cassettes. I know some of you may not remember that, but cassette tapes, yes. Okay. She took the time to ask everyone to submit one song and then found time to find each song and create the tape. I will never understand why Maris chose These Dreams by Heart as her Get Fired Up song. Shela was the glue that held the team together. I've had 4 concussions in my life. This is Allison, not me. Okay. The third was a result of Shela hitting my head during practice. She knocked me out cold. Our senior year, Reed named the 5 seniors captains. And for those of you who don't know, they were known as the Fab Five. And they were the 5 that led the transition of Lees-McRae soccer from a 2-year program to 4-year. So they were instrumental in keeping that program going. It was always Shela who wore the captain's band. She deserved it more than anyone. She was our leader with unfailing dedication and immeasurable heart. I was honored to have her as my wingback. She was always there to support me both on and off the field. I am blessed to call Shela my lifelong friend. So I also asked Reed, also a Hall of Famer, you see a trend here for that team a little bit? For his remarks. And he said, I could talk for hours about the player with an unparalleled passion for the game, or the player who viewed going to class as a necessary evil so she could compete that afternoon, or the player who never accepted her playing days were through and it was time to hang up her cleats. But you'd only learn about Shela the player, and you miss hearing about a woman with a truly sincere and loving heart. A heart so capable excuse me, of comforting and giving, you question why you can't love people that way. A heart with an infinite reservoir of joy and encouragement. I so enjoyed watching Shela compete for me and our college, but my lasting memories are of a young woman with the oversized heart who daily made me feel loved and appreciated. Shela always made you feel good about being who you are. Shela has a spirit that is caring and compassionate. And as I tried to prepare my remarks, I looked at where she was to where she's come. And it's pretty much the same. She's still passionate, she's still committed, and she's still appreciative. She's a strong woman with a determination and fierceness that cannot be matched. She's taken these qualities and used them to become a wonderful mom, wife, and a successful businesswoman. Shela, using her competitiveness and strength, has now waged a war on cancer. As you would expect, she's winning it. She's in remission. Every day, she is an inspiration to me and many others. It is my pleasure and honor to say thank you and to welcome you to Bobcat Hall of Fame.
Hello. They told me I was going to have to speak today, so I kind of called Alice and said, what am I supposed to do? And she said, speak from the heart. On July 23rd, I got the call from Rita Smith about being inducted to the Fred Dickerson Hall of Fame. It couldn't have been a better day for that phone call. I was blown away by this honor, and I still am, because my heart's always been here, even after leaving in '93. It's been 22 years since I've been here as a student, an athlete, and a resident, but it still seems like I was here yesterday getting my education. It's great to be inducted as the second player in soccer, along with Troy and Allie. I looked the wrong direction when I said that. And I know you guys have done amazing things for your sport. I guess I need to start in the beginning. I started playing when I was 7 years old, and my parents saw that I had a knack for this game, and it was a new sport to Murfreesboro at that time. I enjoyed and excelled and wanted to play all the time, even at a young age. My parents wanted to take me everywhere to play and whatever they could do. They even boarded up the window at our home so that I could practice aiming at the wall and not break the glass. But apparently they thought I was going to break the wall. When I attended Oakland High School, it was new at that school, and our coach was a nice man. But the chance of bettering myself came when I got the chance to play for a Franklin travel team, because I was determined to be the first girl from Murfreesboro, Tennessee to receive a soccer scholarship and play in college. And I knew in order to do that, I would have to take the best avenues to get me there. My parents drove me all over to practices and games, including the state and regional tournaments, even the Olympic development program. And finally, I started getting phone calls in my senior year wanting to play in college, but none of the schools seemed quite right. Allison McDonald from Hendersonville, Tennessee, as Ms. Rita had mentioned, had an indoor team, and she gave me a call and said, do you want to play for us? And I chose to play for them because I really don't want to play against her. So it was one of the best decisions of my life at that time, because she was being recruited by Reed. That spring I came to visit, and I fell in love with the school. It was beautiful and everything I'd ever wished it would have been. They had the small classrooms, and the fact that you were a number and not a name, or the fact that you were a name and not a number, was very important to me. On the way home, when we were getting ready to leave, my mom was crying, and I asked her why she was crying. She knew this is where I was going to go, 6 hours away from home. I already knew I was coming as soon as I stepped foot on this campus. It is a beautiful place, and it still is to this day. Attending Lees-McRae was a good fit for me, and it has a good Christian atmosphere. Faculty and staff cares about you as an individual and wants to exceed you, to see you succeed all around. These things helped me become more confident. Playing soccer was an amazing experience here. It helped build the foundations for who I am today. Allison, as was mentioned, also came and we were roommates. To this day, she's a dear friend. She was my midfielder, I was a defender, and I did my best not to let her down or the coach down. Again, our class was the first group to ever play 4 years. We were called the Fab Five. We were a very tight-knit group, and we wanted to have success on the field always. We had the same passion for the sport and the strive to do better, and we always were ready for the next challenge to do our best. Staying focused on the big picture can help you with many situations. I couldn't have been the player I was without them. One of the craziest memories I have was in '89 when we played a 4-hour soccer game consisting of 8 overtimes. We won off of a corner kick, sending us to the national tournament. The saddest game was when I played my last. When you're a senior, every game is your last, but then finally it really is. I didn't go down with a fight, and no goal went on my side that day. I even slide tackled the goalpost to keep the ball from going in. All or nothing is how Fab Five played. In the 4 years we were there, our record was 63, 17, and 1. I didn't score a lot because not a lot of defenders do, but our defense was ranked number 1. That determination and driven attitude helped me throughout life. I met my husband in '95. He is very supportive, and I've played throughout my playing. I continued to play after I left here and began coaching high school soccer. I got my national coach's license in 2000 and coached in a school in Georgia, a college in Georgia for 2 years. Then I returned and took over the family business. You may say that's pretty easy taking over a family business, but after they've been in business for 75 years, the expectations are really high, and I was the fourth generation to see it to this day. In '08, we had a son. His name is Augie. He's amazing. I got back into coaching in 2005. Got back into coaching in '08, and they were a struggling team, but it's been very successful and rewarding because several of them have gone on to play in college. In 2013, I became the owner of Ryan Flowers and Gifts. Provided the arrangements that are on the tables for the inductees. I hope you like them. All in all, things from playing soccer, attending Lees-McRae, and business helped me for the next challenge in my life. July 23rd, last year, is when I was diagnosed with the cancer card. The doctors discovered I had a tumor and found that I was at stage 4 colon cancer. It spread pretty much everywhere throughout my body. My oncologist, Dr. Gian, gave me 3 to 4 years to live. But all I saw was a challenge that needed to be won. I was fortunate enough to get on a trial with 2 different chemos. The treatments would last 6 hours one day. I'd take it home for 2, and every other week. This went on for about 6 months. I was blessed most of the side effects did not affect me. I never got sick, and my hair just thinned. I did cut 20 inches off of it to try and save it, and it worked. I was mostly tired and slept a lot when I got home from work. I took it upon myself to brighten other people's day when I was at chemo. I would wear funny headbands, pass out goodies, sing, play music, and tell my story. My family grew closer, and God has played a big part in our lives. Support came from all around. It's not just one person who goes through cancer, but it's everyone who's involved in your life. My husband has been a rock and is truly amazing. Sometimes when I felt like giving up, I would think to myself, who's watching? My son knew I was tired, but I wanted him to see a strong person who was determined to beat the odds. I continued to work and coach throughout that year. I'm not a quitter, so why start now? I was determined to see the brighter side of things, and I wasn't going to let this be any different. After 6 months of the chemo, it seemed it was working. It shrunk everything. In fact, the specks that were in my lungs had disappeared completely, and the spot in my liver had turned black. So I prepped for surgery with Dr. Briley. When I was in surgery, they also discovered more cancer. So they removed a total of 7 pounds of cancer in infected areas. I don't suggest losing weight that way. That part has been kind of nice. They still tested everything they removed, and I was still showing signs of cancer. So I had to go on radiation, had 22 treatments, and took the chemo pill. The pill sent me to the hospital. My hands peeled, and my kidneys began to fail. I was in the hospital for a week in August, and I had 24 bags of fluids. But things are okay, and it's been a long journey, but when your oncologist said you beat the odds and you're in remission, it doesn't matter what it took to get there, just the fact that you're there, thank God, and praise Him every day. If I could do things over again, I wouldn't change a thing. Student, athletes, and everyone here, always remember to never take your life for granted. Don't forget whether you're a freshman or a senior, always give your all as if it were your last game. By giving your all in the field, in the classroom, and as a person, in day-to-day life, you'll better yourself by doing your best. It can help prepare you for what's to come. Because your future is unknown, and how you handle it can begin with the person you're becoming right now. Thank you.
That's a wonderful story. My name is Tim Hall. I'm the head cycling coach here at Lees-McRae, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Allie Stacher to you. Before I begin, give a couple of remarks. I first want to say congratulations to Troy, and congratulations to Shela. You know, your accomplishments are many, and I hope to get to speak to you more later tonight. Your stories, I hope, it's exciting to me as a coach to see the young people here to hear your stories. Because story, I'm fascinated by story. These three people have interesting, impactful stories that all of us can learn from, especially you young people. And it's why we brought you here tonight, in the hopes that you will learn and grow and aspire to be in this position one day. So, and if you don't ever get the chance to, you know, it's rare you get to see a Super Bowl ring. I've seen a World Series ring and held it in my hand, and I want to see yours here. But back to Allie. We had our road national championship this past spring was in Asheville, North Carolina. And every time we have a national championship, we have a Saturday night banquet. And at the banquet, all the teams come together, and we typically invite an athlete from the past, who's a former collegiate athlete, that will come and speak to everybody. So, it being in Asheville, and Allie living in the vicinity, the USA Cycling decided to invite her to come and speak to everyone there. So we had a really nice banquet. Allie agrees to come and speak, and I think her words to me at the time were, I'm not a good speaker. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And I assured her everything's going to be just fine. And what she didn't know is our plan was at that time was to let her know we were going to be inducting her into this Hall of Fame. So I got to introduce her there that night, and at the end of my little speech, I got to drop that news in her lap, and I think it threw her for a loop a little bit. But it was a special moment. We're glad she's here. I'm going to leave the majority of the time for her to speak, but I will say I did not have the pleasure of coaching Allie. I had the displeasure of coaching against Allie. I coached at another college for quite a while, and I watched her grow and mature. And the thing that stood out to me, and I asked others who knew her back then, what are some adjectives that describe her? I saw it with my own eyes, because what I saw was someone who was a fierce attacker. When the official fired the gun to go, she went. She did not wait for the race to start. There's very few bike racers who have no fear. She has no fear. She raced with other athletes during that time. Same attitude. That era of Bobcats, they had no fear. And they were outstanding athletes. She's following the footsteps of two other amazing bicyclists, Brent Bookwalter and the late Carl Swart, into this Hall of Fame. And she was teammates with both of them. Together, they won multiple championships. Allie herself was on 2 different team championships. She was on the podium as a team other times. She raced cyclocross, she raced road, she raced mountain bike. She did everything. But back to those adjectives. She's fierce, she's driven, she's selfless. And I asked others. I asked our team a lot of times. We do. I'll ask them questions about themselves, about their teammates, and I look for common denominators. What are the common denominators? I'm sure if we asked Troy and Shela, what's common about you and your teammates' experience with you? The same words are going to pop up, same ones. And inside me, from what I had and what I experienced and what I saw coaching against her, the same things were bouncing back at me. Fearless, driven, self-disciplined, determined, committed, grateful, definitely a grateful person. And all those things come together. That every single day she exemplifies what we look for in athletes coming to Lees-McRae. She exemplifies what collegiate cycling is all about, day in, day out. And we're very thankful and blessed that she chose Lees-McRae to make Lees-McRae her home and put our program, she and her teammates, on the map. As a coach here, and as the athletes that we have here listening and partaking of this, we're standing on their shoulders, and we are reaping the benefits of her hard work and her selflessness and her driven attitude and competitiveness. We are riding that wave, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that that propels forward. She is an incredible athlete, raced professionally, raced in Europe. She's done all the big races. I'll let her tell you about that. But she's a wonderful person, and though I had the displeasure of coaching against her, I now have the pleasure of calling her a friend. So without further ado, I introduce to you Stacher.
First of all, congratulations, Shela and Troy. It's an honor to be here with the both of you. Well, if I wasn't nervous, I would be lying. Public speaking is probably not one of my strengths, but everything else I'll attack head first. This is a huge shock, and I am extremely honored to be receiving such a notable award. I want to thank Tim Hall and Craig McPhail and the rest of Lees-McRae for nominating me. And I also want to thank my parents and my husband and the entire Lees-McRae cycling team for also being here and supporting me throughout my cycling career and my business. You know, coming to Lees-McRae, I didn't choose Lees-McRae, it actually chose me. And, you know, when I first started racing, I had gotten a letter from this school and they wanted to foster their program. And so I called the coach and they were like, hey, you're a beginner. Like you're a beginner road racer, you're a beginner mountain biker, you've never raced on the track, and you've never raced cyclocross. Yeah, but I really love to ride my bike. And so they took a chance on me. I started very, very new in the sport, very green. My first bike, for the people that have bikes out there, I had shifters on the top tubes, and it was a steel bike, so it wasn't light at all. And it was kind of a very old school bike. Everyone had carbon bikes and really nice ones. And so I was welcomed into this very warm family. And I was lucky enough to excel through the sport and made the A-team and just kind of attacked it head on. Coming to Lees-McRae also presented me with some wonderful opportunities. After my first real full season of racing here, I was picked up by the U.S. national team in 2009. And the school worked with me with my schedule to go over and race in Europe in the World Cups and all the hardest races in the spring. And I had no idea what I was doing. We did the Tour of Flanders, which, for those who know what it is, it's one of the hardest one-day races in the world. And I thought it was a multi-day stage race because it was a tour. And they're like, oh no, it's just one day, if you can survive. And I think 30 of us finished out of like 220 people, and I just wanted to be over. You know, you either sink or swim, and there were times I was sinking, but eventually I put some floaties on and learned how to swim. So, you know, coming here and getting picked up by the national team, it also had given me my first professional contract in 2010. And then in 2011, I signed with the best team in the world. It was unbelievable, and I was extremely grateful for it. And if it wasn't for coming here and coming to this program and being welcomed into such a wonderful family, I wouldn't be here today. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be standing here accepting such an amazing award. And it's done a lot for me. I started my own health bar business, which has been taking off, in my eyes, kind of like wildfire. If I could have more hours in the day and I didn't have to eat or sleep, I think life would be better. But since those are two things you kind of need to survive, I do them both, and I try to do a lot of them. And so, but with the support of this community and what this school has offered, it's just been one awesome bike ride, and I've just put my helmet on and ridden and enjoyed the ride. And so, being inducted into the Hall of Fame is an experience that I'm always going to remember and be extremely grateful for, and I cannot thank you enough sincerely from the bottom of my heart. If there's one thing that I can leave you with, a dear friend of mine once said, Dream big and make it happen. And it's kind of a mantra I live by. And I live my entire every day by that. And so, sorry to cut it short, but thank you, everyone.
Troy, I looked in Webster's to write my speech. I just want you to know that. Webster's defines perseverance as the quality that allows someone to continue trying to do something, even though it's difficult. Throughout your life, you have persevered. You've made the most of the opportunities that you have been given, and for that, you have been greatly rewarded. I could look up the word success, but I'd rather use your resume athletically to kind of define that. High school state champion, NCAA champion, Super Bowl champion 3 times. You're in the College Football Hall of Fame and the New England Patriots Hall of Fame. So it's only fitting that we do tonight. It did indeed get started in Blackville, South Carolina, was nurtured in Banner Elk, and met with great success in Huntington, West Virginia at Marshall University. And from there, Foxborough, Massachusetts with the New England Patriots. A $500 scholarship to become a Bobcat. Word on the street is you brought a duffel bag and a 9-inch black and white TV with you to Banner Elk as a student. I'm willing to bet those cyclists and those women's soccer players brought a little more than a duffel bag and a 9-inch TV. We are very thankful you did come though. Troy, in our conversations since this has happened, I'm always fascinated by why Lees-McRae, what you enjoyed about Lees-McRae. And our conversation the other day was similar to Blackville, South Carolina, a small town. You were able to really kind of focus on being the young man that you wanted to be with that pretty large chip on your shoulder. And shaking the trees, coming out of the woods for a football game, rivals just about anything that you've done in your lifetime. And it all started here. In your sophomore year at Lees-McRae, a Marshall football coach comes to look for a punter and an offensive lineman. He finds Troy Brown. The rest, I think, we can all say is you maximized your potential, you persevered, and in this, for the folks here who watch CBS on Sundays and see the Patriots, we got to see number 80 have a lot of success. To me, he is the consummate Patriot because of what he did on the field, the way he conducted himself off the field, and the fact he always put team first, said Patriots chairman and CEO and owner Robert Kraft. It has truly been an honor and a privilege to coach Troy, said Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. I think Troy has, as I've talked many times with our players, is the consummate professional. Troy, as we talked about earlier, tonight's been in the makings for a while. We've had dialogue for almost 5 years about you getting here with your job and your schedule in the fall, being in the NFL's thick of their season. Commitments have not allowed it. However, as many of us in this room can admire athletes, we make sacrifices. And tonight, you made a great one. And it won't be unnoticed. You have a 7:25 a.m. flight out of Charlotte in the morning to return for your son's birthday and your community relations events with the Patriots. You have persevered, and we have been rewarded. Thank you. Thank you for commanding the respect from the moment you entered Lees-McRae and how you carried yourself since. We can all learn a little bit about what it takes to be a teammate, filling in when and wherever needed. In Matthew 25, verse 23, the Master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." Let's indeed celebrate together as we induct Troy Brown into the 2015 Lees-McRae Athletic Department Hall of Fame. Well done.
great introduction. That was pretty impressive. You know, first I want to say congratulations to Shela and Allie on becoming the newest members of the Bobcat Hall of Fame, and I am happy and proud to be going in with you guys at the same time. And I have to be honest, and with Craig giving my introduction there, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know, I've always said that Lees-McRae was the starting point for me, that to give me a chance to become a Super Bowl champion and an NCAA champion and all those things. And I'm sitting there and it dawns on me like, you know, really, Lees-McRae was probably the most important stop in my life and the greatest stop in my life. Because when I look back on it, and I tell the story all the time, I do a lot of public speaking, and not that I like to do that. I hate getting in front of people and talking, but I do it from time to time. And I sat there and I said, this is really the greatest place that has been a part of my life. And what it means to me, because he said he mentioned the $500 again, and I tell that story all the time. And I look at that situation, and I came from a place, a small town, probably smaller than Banner Up, and where people just didn't go to college. You know, it was more about going to the local factory and making air conditioners and furnaces and gas grills, and you went to join the military. And that was life for me in South Carolina. There was no hope for me going to college. And, you know, I'm sitting in school, minding my own business. And here comes Mac Bryant, you know, my head coach from high school, Mike Pope, who since passed away. And they called us into the library and said, hey, we got a scholarship for you. I said, okay. I signed it. So I went into the library and the photographer there, and it was me and two other guys that I went to school with in high school there. And I signed the scholarship, and hey, it's $500. Hey mom, I got a scholarship today for $500 to go to school. Where's that? Lees-McRae. Where's that? But you know, my mom, you know, she was persistent. She said, "You're going." And I remember them calling us and trying to get the orientation set up for me to come here and go through orientation, and it would have been easy for me to stay home with my friends. Because my mom and I borrowed my brother's car, who had just graduated 2 years before I did, got a job in the local factory, was able to buy him a car. We borrowed his car. We drove to one of my friend's house to pick him up, never answered the door. I said, oh, he's not going. And I drove to my next friend's house, knocked on the door, nobody answered the door. I looked at my mom, she looked at me. I said, well, Mom, I'd never been out of town. I'd never been out of state of South Carolina. And that was it. And my mom hated driving, and she didn't know if it was going to be a freeway or whatever it was. And we got the map out, and we drew the path we wanted to take to get here. And somehow, some way, we found our way to Banner Up, North Carolina. And probably the most important trip that I made in my entire life. You know, so just sitting there praying, listening to you speak those words, you know, made me realize, you know, that this is the most important stop that I made in my journey. And, you know, I thank my mom all the time for her making me come and her driving me here without any skills. And you know, she didn't have any great driving skills, and I just got my license like a year before. So, and driving here, you know, it is the greatest trip. And upon my arrival here, you know, I realized that, you know, this place is not much different than Blackville, South Carolina, other than you had a college. We didn't have a college in my hometown. But a lot about my experience here, you know, it helped shape me, helped mold me. Craig mentioned, you know, part of our football team, you know, the rituals of our football team was before every game, you would go to the locker room and leave the locker room, walk down over the side of the hill, down into the woods. And part of our ritual was for the guys to get a treat, and you just shit. So people sitting in the stands, you can see the top of the tree shit. You can see players, you know, and guys started to chant, and you come running up out of the woods and onto the field. And it was time to do battle at that point. You know, one of my greatest memories of Banner Up, North Carolina. And then as that season, my first season came to an end, my summer job, I know he mentioned me about a lot of the kids now, you know, going and working for a lot of the guys who come here on vacation, and you get to drive their Ferraris around or whatever it is, or Mercedes-Benz around. Well, my summer job was to cut down the Christmas trees at the back of the practice field. And drag them out and put them on the back of the truck and tie them up and all that stuff and watch the guys sell them right there on the spot. So another great memory of mine here at Lees-McRae. And in one spot, I was asking a few people here about a lot of things that were fond of me here, and it's no longer here, the Village Grocery. I'm not sure if you guys are from this part, but the Village Grocery is no longer here. It was one of my favorite spots to go. Get some snacks, get some little things here and there, and so those are some of my great memories of being here. Rita, she was here when I was here, and probably before I was here. And it was great seeing her walking in here. It's been 24 long years, since I've been here, and a little bit has changed, but the more I drove around a little bit on the way here, and it became to look a little more familiar to me, and I just want to thank all of you guys for having me back here again, and I'm so glad that I was able to make it back here. If there's a place that you sacrifice your child's birthday, and you sacrifice driving through, as I told Craig this morning in my text message, that I got the weather report, and it said there were life-threatening floods and landslides that would be possible in the area. I'm like, Craig. Come on, Craig. I'm like, well, I said, keep me posted, advise, please advise. And he sure enough, he's sitting there, a couple of text messages. Oh, the sun is peeking through. And, the rain has stopped, a little bit of mist here and there. So I called my friends up, and we jumped in the car, and we headed this way. And again, another journey that I'm glad I made, because I got to meet Craig personally, and face to face. I got to see Rita, I got to see a lot of you guys here, I got to see the town again, and I promised Craig that I would be back, and it won't be 24 years before I do that, because it's a special place, and I really do mean this is the most important stop that I made in my journey. So expect to see me around a few times a year, because again, not just a great place to come and visit and vacation, but to see some faces too, and to make myself a little more visible in the town of Banner Rep here at Lees-McRae College. So thank you guys again for putting me into the college, for the Lees-McRae Bobcats Hall of Fame. I do appreciate it. It is an honor for me to be a part of the Bobcat Hall of Fame, along with another NFL guy, Leonard Wheeler, that played here a year before I came here. So thank you guys very much, and I look forward to checking with you here in a little bit, and mingling a little bit. So it is an honor for me to be a Bobcat Hall of Famer. Thank you very much.
I think you can see just by the speeches of our inductees why we do this. More so, why we will continue to do this. This is an opportunity. We get to showcase what being a part of the Bobcat Nation is truly about. I can't tell you, every year I say, oh, this was the best. And again, we hit the best. Troy, the sun never came out today. I told somebody, I sent that text, and they said, I cannot stand next to you. I am the son of a preacher, and I did pray afterwards, but the sun never showed. Allie, you are the epitome of what we want here. Shela, you represent everything that we wish we could have in a student athlete. And Troy, what you have done is why we do this tonight. We want to be able to have nights like this where we showcase the character of the young people who come into Banner Elk and who graduate from Lees-McRae and who make a difference once they leave. Because that is the reward for the hard work, the dedication, and the efforts that each one takes to make this place very special. I want to thank each and every one of you for making time to come tonight. I want to let you know and invite you that tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. we're going to dedicate the Hagler Athletic Center. It's the building adjacent to Williams Gymnasium. Some of you may have remembered it as a daycare. It was formerly a parole office, if you can believe that. But tomorrow it becomes the home for men's and women's lacrosse and softball And it is one of the finest showpieces that we have in our athletic department, as we have transformed a very decrepit building into what is really now truly a work of art. Again, thank you all for making this night very special, not only for myself, for our president, for our trustees, for our faculty and our staff, for your families, but more importantly for yourselves. You have resembled, represented, and done what makes our job very easy. You've represented Lees-McRae to the highest. Congratulations. God bless.
Hi, and welcome to the Lees-McRae Hall of Fame dinner. I'm Justin Perillo. I'm a student athlete here at Lees-McRae College, and I'm truly honored here to be standing here tonight with Shela Moffitt-Fabri, who was just inducted into the Lees-McRae Hall of Fame. So Shela, congratulations on being inducted as a Bobcat into the Hall of Fame. And I just want to know maybe a little bit about your journey and how did you come to Lees-McRae and what made you choose it?
Well, playing soccer is something I've always enjoyed, and I was determined to be the first player out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So when the opportunity knocked and I started getting recruited by Reed Estes from Lees-McRae, I mean, I was infatuated when I saw the school, and just everything was amazing, and everything just seemed to fit. Like, I knew this is where God was bringing me. And I've taken all of my experiences from here and playing and trying to do the right thing, and just everything. I've took it with me to my everyday life after I left here. I own my own business, and I continued to play and coach as through the years went by, and it's just made me a stronger person throughout all my battles.
And so, coming to Lees-McRae and everything that you've done, all the accomplishments here, what was the thing that you took away, and what have you used in every day after graduating from Lees-McRae College?
Just to I guess what I took away is cherish everything that you have and take the knowledge that you've learned and use it in day-to-day life and make it work for you.
And what does it mean to be inducted here tonight as a Bobcat, and just for the future Bobcats? Like, what does it mean to you to be inducted to the Hall of Fame?
It means everything, because coming here was the best decision of my soccer career, and I say the word career just because I continue to play at, yes, an older age, but it means everything that they seem to want to give back when you put so much into it in the first place.
Well, Shela, I just want to say again, congratulations on your induction. It really means a lot from Bobcat Nation, all of us, and we're glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for taking some time out to talk to me. Next up was Stacher, a pro cyclist and now owner and founder of Allie's Bars. Allie started her cycling career here at Lees-McRae. I talked to Allie right after she got her award. And tonight I'm very honored to be with Stacher. She's formerly a Lees-McRae cyclist, a professional cyclist, and she's the owner of Allie's Bars. I'm on the cycling team. I love Allie's Bars. They're great. They're awesome. But I gotta ask, how did you get to Lees-McRae, and what made you choose Lees-McRae here?
Lees-McRae actually found me. I had jumped into a couple of races when I was on a wrestling team, and I jumped into a couple of random races just for fitness and for a challenge. But when you do races, you have to have a USA cycling license. So Lees-McRae had sent out a letter to everyone that was under 23 years old. So I was one of like 1,800 people that got a letter. So I reached back out to the collegiate coach, and they're like, well, you're kind of a beginner. You don't really have a ton of results, you've never raced cyclocross or track, and so we'll give you a very, very small scholarship, and if you want to come to our school, we'll take you. And so I came and I checked out the campus, and I fell in love with it, and so I knew I wanted to hang out my wrestling shoes and kind of submerge myself into the cycling culture.
And you had a great success as a cyclist, and also now with Allie's Bars is a new venture for you. What do you take away from Lees-McRae, or what being a graduate of Lees-McRae has helped you in your successes?
Being a graduate from Lees-McRae has taught me a lot of things. Time management, to work really hard, to always just go after your goals. And really one of the big things is just to dream big. And so, having a community that really supports you makes setting goals and reaching them, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier to do when you have a huge community, especially a college that supports you in goals that you set for yourself.
And with goals and everything looking forward, what does it mean now to be inducted in this Hall of Fame, the Bobcat Hall of Fame here?
Oh man, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame is such an honor. I kind of got a little emotional up there because it really means a lot to me, like from the bottom of my heart. Like Lees-McRae has always had an extremely special place for me. It's where I started my cycling career and where I continue on to race and try to reach some bigger goals with my cycling. And also one of the reasons why I started a business. Like I just want to give back to the community, and I want to give back to communities that have given a lot to me. So being inducted to the Hall of Fame is an honor, to say the least.
Well, Allie, I want to say congratulations personally. It's been awesome listening to your story, and everyone here tonight. We really appreciate everything that you've done for us here at Lees-McRae and for the cycling team. So again, congratulations, and thank you for taking time to join me tonight.
Yep, no problem.
The last inductee of the night was Troy Brown. Troy is a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, and Troy says that his NFL career started here at Lees-McRae as a Bobcat. I was honored to talk to Troy Brown right after he got inducted into the Bobcat Hall of Fame. And I am truly honored to be here tonight with Troy Brown, former NFL star, former Lees-McRae Bobcat as well. As one of the only New England Patriots fans here on campus, I gotta say, Troy, I'm really happy to be here with you tonight. And I want to say congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor for me to be here and have you guys be a part of it.
Now, Troy, just maybe you can tell us a little bit about why and how did you get to Lees-McRae?
Lees-McRae, kind of found me, and I wasn't expecting to go to college and do all the things that college students do, but luckily for me, I had the coach at the time, Mac Bryant, the football coach at the time, come and offered me a $500 scholarship. I decided to come on up for orientation, and we liked it and got situated here, and came in and attended here for 2 years, and it turned out great for me, man. And it was probably the most important stop in my journey to getting to where I was.
Troy, you had a lot of success both in the NFL and in college, but how did Lees-McRae change that? What did Lees-McRae attribute to your successes?
It was just giving me an opportunity to go to college. And once I got here, I had to figure out a few things, but it worked out great. And what better place to do that than Lees-McRae, where it was quiet, not a lot of distractions, and was able to learn how to study. I had some catching up to do, but and it was a great place to do this. The teachers were great, a lot of personal one-on-one time with a lot of the teachers that offered it to you, and so for a person like me that didn't expect to go to college and had no desire to go to college and ended up in college, it was the perfect place for me. And then to nurture my football career at the same time as well, and that enabled me to be able to, get recognized by bigger schools, 1AA school, Marshall at the time, able to come in and, take me away. And then it kind of progressed from there. So Lees-McRae was, again, the biggest part of what made Troy Brown. And that's why I'm back here today, because of this place, man. So it was I don't know, at a loss of words, but it holds a dear place in my heart, that's for sure.
It does. And, like you said, you went to the NFL and everything. You have a huge list of successes here, but what does it mean to be inducted into the Bobcat Hall of Fame to you?
It means that I've had some success, and this is the place that kind of nurtured me to get to do all that, and I'm honored to be in there with such people as Shela and Allie, tremendous athletes in their own way and tremendous competitors, and help give the Bobcat Hall of Fame, some recognition, and that we've had some great athletes to come through here, and I know a lot of our sports now are, cycling and tennis and those types of things, and soccer, and there are some great athletes that play those sports as well. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, people recognize things through basketball or football, whatever it may be, but hopefully those athletes will get a lot of recognition, from having a football player in there, and so that's what it's all about, and recognize Lees-McRae for his greatness, great athletes, great academics, and just a great community as well.
Well, Troy, I want to say again, congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame, and I truly enjoyed listening to your story. It was great. It was great talking to you tonight, and thanks for taking time to talk to me as well.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
And welcome back to the Lees-McRae College Athletics Hall of Fame dinner. We had a great night here tonight. We saw all three inductees get celebrated as their accomplishments were placed in the Lees-McRae College Hall of Fame. And it was a wonderful evening. I'm standing here with Craig McPhail, Vice President of Athletics, and he's going to give us a few words on how the evening was.
At the end of the day, Justin, this is the highlight of my year. This is why I do what I do, and this experience continues to exceed itself. I think that we all got to see really truly why those people were deserved. They're the student athletes who persevered, who overcame adversity, who worked hard and dedicated themselves not only while they were here, but subsequently since they've left. And their stories are unique and different, but in that same respect, they're the same as yours and Chris's and anybody else's. You know, they put their uniform on and they gave their best every time out, and for that we were truly grateful. It's always a great homecoming event. This is our 6th one, and I can't wait till next year. I mean, it's just an atmosphere where we share in a moment that we will remember for the rest of our lives. I'm just thankful to have been a part of it and played a small role in it.
As am I. I'm really happy that I got to experience this tonight as a student and as an athlete. It really shows what the meaning of Bobcat is all about. Craig, thank you for having me here tonight. Thanks for talking with us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And this was the Lees-McRae College Athletics Hall of Fame Dinner. Thank you.